Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Mindful SMP. Got a whole bunch of things we're going to do today. As you know, last episode we built a archery game in our Carnival. Between episodes I did a little bit of decoration here, and we're going with just a real simple nether theme, so it'll be just kind of nether archery. This is where we'll deposit our tokens, here's where people can borrow a bow or some arrows, and here's where the tokens will be dispensed. And then right there in the middle, that's where the target is exposed, and they'll shoot the target and win some tokens. Today we're going to add another game that's pretty redstone heavy to our Carnival, and we're going to do a little bit of errand running. But first I heard that Wolfo has an offer for the guardian head that we left him in his little pawn shop wagon. Hello?
Oh my god. Oh, were you watching me that whole time? Oh my. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, hello.
Hello, good to see you.
Good to see you too. You look a little, you good, man?
Yeah, I'm working on a Carnival, so this is Carny Todd.
There,
thank
take
you.
some food. I
Yeah,
feel like you need it more than me.
I appreciate that.
I actually have a little spot, that we can do this at.
Okay. Lead the way.
So, yeah, if you just want to follow me. It's a little, how do I say it? No, it's not completed. It's under construction.
That's fair.
Yeah. So might be a little hard to get back out, but you know. it actually, yeah. It's down here.
Okay. Oh gosh. I died. There we go.
There we go. I should have probably explained that.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
To this place.
Fancy.
It's a little unfinished. You can see there's some some patchwork.
Very nice.
So, I have your deal here. Let me just read it off once more. You're offering 1 Elder Guardian head. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. For 10 diamonds.
True. And you say it's extremely rare. Yeah. You got to find
I think it's true.
Yeah, you got to find a monument and you got to kill one of those things.
One sec.
Sure.
So I'm thinking about just like taking it from, just one sec.
Yep.
But I'd feel bad doing that. So I think I'll give him some diamonds. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just having. I think he's looking at it. Okay. I did some thinking.
Uh-huh.
I think I'll give you some diamonds. 10 seems a little, high.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking we just go with the diamond block,
Okay.
Seems pretty fair. I just need to find my diamonds.
What do we got there? That's
9.
That's 9. Perfect. Yeah, if I put that in a block form, that'll be much easier to carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Good doing business with you.
Yeah. So is the pawn shop done then, or are you going to be opening up again in the future?
I will be opening it up in the future, but it will not be the same little card because apparently the HOA thinks it's very ugly.
Oh, they're very strict.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'll keep looking for rare stuff then, and if you're going to be in the buying mood, I'll definitely hit you up.
Awesome. Now, getting out of here.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to say it. Good luck.
Thank you. I want to run over to the bookshop and check how things are going over here. We added a few new books to our collection here, and we have a couple of new members, so I want to see if they're taking advantage of them. Okay, we got looting. Ooh, a bunch of protection. Silk touch. Knockback. fire aspect, sweeping edge. Unbreaking, we definitely need more. Fortune. Ooh, went through all the mending books. Feather falling. Efficiency, we need more of those. Flame, punch, power, infinity, respiration. Good on depth strider, and aqua affinity. Wow, we got a lot of restocking to do. Okay, now that we've got all that stuff sorted, let's get back to this carnival game. I want to put it in this space here, just next to the exit. And I want it to be a game where people throw blocks across ice towards a hopper, and if they make it in the hopper, they win tokens. Originally, I was thinking we'd have a similar system where people would deposit a token and then throw the blocks either for a certain amount of time or they would receive a certain number of blocks. And I realized if they just threw tokens, then we wouldn't have to have any of that. And we could have a system where if they make a token in, they would get 2 tokens out or something like that. I think it'll be much simpler. So like the other game, this is going to take a ton of space. So I'm going to dig some stuff out here so we have some room to work, and then I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I go along. So right here is where people will receive the tokens that they win. And I think we want to come back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what will make this game difficult is there will be some pistons that will be pushing blocks across the path periodically and pushing people's tokens out of the way. Okay, underneath, we're going to need 2 different token collections. We're going to need one for the ones that miss and one for the ones that they get. Because if they get one, we want to be able to pay out on that. Okay, just had a thought that unless we push this closed, people can just walk up and throw stuff in all the time. There's going to be a clock back here, and I don't want the clock running all the time. So instead of putting the dropper here, put the dropper over here, and then we'll have some sort of activation. We're just going to do stone pressure plate. So when you step on this, that will retract, the game will start, and then when we step off of it, it'll stop, and that will close up the game so that it's not just running all the time. Underneath, I connected all the hoppers. So if they miss, all of that stuff will get gathered up and funneled here. And then if they get one, it'll go in this hopper here and get pushed over to the same place. But on the way, we will take a comparator output so that we can determine if they won. We got a lot of stuff we got to cram in here. We got the dispenser for the winning items. We have the trigger to start the whole game. And then we're going to have these pistons that are going to be on a randomizer, and we need to get those wired up as well. Okay, we have a system to dispense tokens when players get one in. We have a system to start the game whenever players stand on the pressure plate. Now we just need to come up with a randomizer for these pistons. Need some more room. Need some more room. Well, aside from some theming and some decoration, I think we have a functional game here. So the way this is going to work is a player will come along and step on this pressure plate. And when they do that, this redstone will light up, come along here, and the signal will flow into this block, which will turn this torch off. Kills that signal, which then turns this torch on. When this turns on, it'll power this block, which turns this torch off, and this piston will retract, exposing the hopper so that the player can throw their tokens into it. Now, the other thing that's going to happen when this torch comes on, besides retracting the piston, is the signal will come into this repeater, and then underneath this sand is a piston. And so this piston will extend, creating a pulse, and the pulse will move off in that direction. This torch, when it turns on, will also extend this piston. And what happens here then is the pulse comes along this way, starts moving through these repeaters, And then when this block gets pushed into place, we will have a continuous circuit. And this signal will just move around and around and around. Every time the signal gets here, it'll also get pushed off in that direction. Now that repeater pushes it down here, and then this is just a little pulse extender. So the pulse, when it hits here, rather than being real short, will get stretched out again, come along this way, and then it will hit these 3 repeaters. Now these 3 repeaters are pushing that signal into these 3 droppers, and each dropper has a non-stackable item and a stackable item. And so randomly, one of those 2 will get shot into the hopper every time there's a signal here. Now, if the stackable item gets shot into the hopper, the comparator is only going to put out a signal of 1. So only this little redstone will light up and that's it. But if the non-stackable item gets pushed into the hopper, the comparator is going to read a signal of 2. And you'll notice once it gets up here, there's a repeater to grab that signal and send it along. Happens here, and it happens here. Now those 3 repeaters, they each move the signal along to these 3 pistons, here, here, and here. Looks kind of complicated and snaky, but all that's happening is from those comparators, the signal is coming up to these repeaters and getting pushed to those 3 pistons. And while players are throwing their items down here, those 3 pistons will periodically extend, blocking their trajectory or pushing the items off to the side, making it a little bit challenging. Now when we step on that pressure plate, the signal comes along and turns off this torch. So I'm just going to knock this torch off so that you can see the machine in progress here. So if I turn that off, this torch comes on, which retracts that piston. Signal came through here and got turned into a pulse, which you can see is moving around the repeaters. This piston is extended, completing that circuit. And then every once in a while, the signal gets pushed in this direction. You can see that the comparators lengthen the signal, so it takes longer to die out. Signal comes along this way and hits these 3 repeaters. And every time it hits one, you can see one of the items gets spit out. The dirt, sword, sword. So it's random each time. And so as a result, sometimes the signal only goes this far, and sometimes it goes all the way up to the repeater. And when it goes up to the repeater, one of those pistons gets extended. Now when the player steps off of the pressure plate, this torch will turn back off, which will lower this back down, and will retract this guy. And so that will turn this clock off. When this torch goes missing, the signal can't continue, and so that turns the clock off. Now back out here in front of the game, there is this dropper, and it has some dirt in it. It's going to serve as our tokens right now. So when we throw an item and it ends up in the proper hopper down here, this is going to read this hopper here. So the comparator is taking a measurement. And so if a token comes through, it's going to send a signal off over here. And that observer is watching that redstone line. So if a token ends up in here, redstone will turn on and the observer will shoot out a signal. And then the redstone will turn off and the observer will send out a second signal. And so the result is the dropper gets hit twice and we'll end up with 2 tokens. So if a player gets 1 token in, they'll get paid 2 tokens. You know, when you look at it as a whole, it can feel really complicated. You know, underneath this, there is a lot of redstone going on here. But really what it is a bunch of individual problems that kind of all fit together. So the first problem is, how do we start the game? And then how do we provide signal to the clock? So we figured that out. And then we made a clock. How do we turn the clock off? Figured that out. How do we randomize the pistons? How do we dispense the winnings? For me, that is the fun of Redstone, is those little problems that you kind of work through and then figure out how to make it all fit and all work together. Let's give it a shot real quick. I have 10 dirt. I'm going to step on this pressure plate and we should see that rear piece there of ice retract, exposing the hopper, and then we should start seeing the pistons shoot side to side. That's exposed, and here they come. Let's see how I do here. Not great. Still not great. Oh, I think I got one. Oh. All right, that's my 10. What did I win? I won 4. So I didn't do great. People might get more lucky than that. And then all 10 should be down here. They are. Cool. Well, that turned out awesome. I think what I want to do as far as theming is continue kind of the ice thing, maybe make like a little itty bitty mountain. And that's a finished game. Well, I think that looks pretty cool. I went ahead and called it Spelunker. That's a person who goes exploring caves. And I think it looks sort of like a mountain. Definitely not spawn-proof yet. I'm going to cover it with white carpet and build a fence along the back just so things don't sneak in. But I think that looks pretty cool. And then over here, put a roof on this one. Just called it Nether Archer. Got some bows and arrows over here. Insert token. And I think that's looking really cool. So I had asked you guys what I should use for tokens here at the Carnival, and I got a few good suggestions. A couple of folks said I should use emeralds, and emeralds I think look really good, as far as a token. The problem for me is they actually have intrinsic value. You can trade with villagers, and unless you have a villager trading situation, it's hard to get a lot of them. One suggestion I got that I think I'm going to go with is sunflowers. So sunflowers, if you have a sunflower, you just start bone mealing it and you get lots of them. So it'd be really easy to get tons of these. And then, as far as a token, they look pretty good, like in your inventory, it's just a little round golden thing. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. The next couple additions to the Carnival are actually going to be attractions rather than games. So they're going to be a little lighter on the redstone. And then as far as next episode, it really depends on how quickly we update the server. If we get to 1.18 on here, we're going to put the Carnival on pause for an episode and just go exploring. If we haven't done the update quite yet, then what we'll do is we'll focus on the Carnival and just get things spawn-proof and decorated and all of that, and it's going to be great. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.